Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your September 2023 deep dive. You have been through the ringer these past several years with Pluto conjunct your sun. If you're like most of the Capricorns I know, you've been doing a lot of deep dives and reflecting due to that. This change and introspection, if that's what's you've been doing, this month is going to support that. There's a lot of Earth energy this month. We are starting off with lots of planets in retrograde, 5 planets. Venus did go direct at 12 degrees of Leo on the 3rd, so that's nice for everyone when Venus moves direct. But then the very next day, Jupiter went retrograde at 15 degrees of Taurus. But you know, that's still trying your energy. So that's a harmonious aspect. If you're a Capricorn sun sign with your sun anywhere between 10 to 20 degrees of Capricorn, this is going to be a very harmonious aspect for you. Even if it's retrograde, you might just be reflecting more. Jupiter retrograde encourages reflection. Jupiter is the planet of optimism, expansion, growth, opening your mind to new ideas, maybe learning more about different cultures and even opening your mind to other religious or spiritual beliefs. And so when Jupiter is retrograde, we may be reflecting on, where in my life have I blindly accepted things, or where in my life have I been closed-minded? So this is an opportunity for reflection. And with the harmonious trine energy, that is actually very supportive. You're in harmony with it. And then we go into this Grand Trine on the 13th. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But it involves Pluto and Capricorn. You have so much trine energy here, though, this harmonious energy, that if you've been growing with this Pluto and Capricorn, which pretty much almost all Capricorns have been doing, this is just going to maybe be a chance for you to reflect and solidify some of the growth, or really just maybe even it's introspective energy. We've got Pluto retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of introspective energy at this time. Just be mindful, especially during this Grand Trine on the 13th, to be easy on yourself, but be honest. Like, be so honest with yourself, because the more honest you are with yourself during this kind of intense time, the more you're going to overcome, and you're going to become such a even better person. And that's why we're here. That's, in my opinion. I think that it's a lot about us using the energies to evolve and grow. And this is prime opportunity, Capricorn. Pluto is making a little retrograde back into the end of your sign, but don't worry, it's going to leave soon. You'll get a little reprieve. And you actually do, with all this trine energy, you have so much opportunity to turn things into positive. That's what trine does. Trine is supportive. It's symbiotic relationships. It's win-win. It's growing and finding those opportunities for growth. This trine with Jupiter will be most exact for Capricorns born between January 3rd through January 9th of any given year. It brings about a very pleasant feeling. Mercury is in retrograde too, so you might be reflecting on things in the past and maybe wanting to make amends, or wanting to extend an olive branch, or do something where you're being your best self because you've done so much. I mean, Pluto's really been challenging you, and you've likely been doing a lot of growing and reflecting and retrospection, especially with Jupiter and Mercury in retrograde. But enjoy, though, that it is harmonious energy. Trine is win-win, symbiotic, supportive energy. And so also with this trine, you may be inclined to reach out into new areas of life and have new and rewarding experiences. Your creative potential is stronger at this time. Your inner energies are strong. You may be feeling more self-confidence. This transit usually indicates good health and a feeling of well-being. So enjoy it. And then we have this Grand Trine coming up on the 13th. And this is very interesting. So like I was sharing earlier, you've been dealing with Pluto conjunct your sun for a while. And And since Pluto did go into Aquarius for a little while, and then it's been retrograde, so sort of visiting back. If you're a late Capricorn, you might be noticing this a little bit more. And it's a chance to reflect, I think, on some of the amazing inner changes that you've likely been doing in the past several years. It's an opportunity to reflect and maybe perfect some of the changes that you've been making. And Capricorns are, very hardworking and steady. That's kind of their theme, is like you keep on going, right? You keep on moving along. And so this revisit with Pluto, it's not going to be anything you can't handle. It's just going to be more of likely a reflective time. And since it is supported by this trine energy with Jupiter, that will give you maybe a little reprieve. And then on the 13th, you have this wild Grand Trine between Pluto in 28 degrees of Capricorn, Pluto's retrograde, Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus, and then Virgo at the Sun in 22 degrees of Virgo. When planets are retrograde, it's more of an opportunity to revise, to reflect. And so this trine, so Pluto, like I said earlier, is the planet of death and rebirth. It's that planet where if you're finding your inner power by controlling others, Pluto's going to come and knock that house of cards down. But if you're finding your inner power from within, if you're judging yourself by what you do, not by what others think you do or by what you can get from others, but by what you do, Pluto is going to be very supportive of you. And trine Uranus, so Uranus is also another kind of intense planet. It's the planet of expect the unexpected. It's that planet that if it's transiting an important aspect of your chart, if it encourages us to ask ourselves if we've been living in complacency, if we've been choosing predictability, and ease over like inner joy, happiness, connection, or just personal growth. Uranus is that planet that will, shake things up basically, and sometimes unexpectedly. So there's a trine there that's harmonious. That's a harmonious aspect. So this might be a time where you're reflecting on those themes in your life. And the nice thing about this is that the next day you have the new moon in Virgo. So Virgo is our harmonious energy with Capricorn. It's a trine and it's a new moon. So that's even more symbolic of new directions, turning over a new leaf, starting new, starting over, or starting something brand new, starting something fresh, with a different mindset, with a different approach. Capricorn 2.0, the more evolved Capricorn, taking on that new approach. And then the very next day, Mercury goes direct in 8 degrees of Virgo. So if your sun is in the first decan of Capricorn, if you're an early Capricorn, you will like this a lot because Mercury will be trining your sun. And when Mercury's direct, things just become a little bit more clear. And when you have your sun trine Mercury, it also supports your communication. It helps bring clarity of mind. It makes it easier for you to get your ideas across to others. So you will likely embrace this Mercury moving direct on September 15th. And something else is interesting here. If you're a late Capricorn, Neptune is in Pisces. And it's sextiling Capricorn and Taurus. So it's sextiling Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. And so Neptune is the planet of the subconscious. It's the planet of spirituality. And the sextile brings about the intellectual energies of the planets involved. Some of this change that you're going through, it might even have a little bit of a spiritual aspect to it. And if it is, embrace it. This is the sextile is also a very harmonious aspect for you to enjoy and use for positive things. And then The trine between the Sun in Virgo and Pluto in Capricorn is perfected on the 21st. So you might revisit this idea, or this theme around inner power and, true healthy power from within. You might just be revisiting this theme, which is, I think, very lovely, especially with that sextile Neptune in Pisces. That's nice. It might be supporting some spiritual growth, evolution. I am an evolutionary astrologer, so that's usually what I focus on. And I hope it's helpful information. And then there is, on the 27th, the moon is at 14 degrees of Pisces, sextile Jupiter at 14 degrees of Taurus. And so the moon is sextiling your sun or any major planets that you have in Capricorn, particularly if those planets are between about 9 to 19 degrees of of Capricorn. That's another beneficial energy, that sextile energy, the intellectual energies of the planets involved. The moon is our emotional selves. The moon is very much at home in Pisces. That tends to be a very spiritual placement, moon in Pisces. So that may just be supporting some of that Neptune energy. It might just be supporting some of that spirituality at that time. And then Jupiter is in Taurus. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, opening your mind. Now, Jupiter is retrograde, so there might be some questioning too, but it's all very harmonious, peaceful energy that's really supporting your growth. So I hope you have a very peaceful, harmonious, exciting, hopefully not too much drastic change, but maybe more reflecting on change that you've been through in the past with these planets of change in retrograde. And I hope that the energies are supportive of you this month, Capricorn. It looks like they will be. See you next time.